Hey, what's going on guys? In this episode we're going to be going through adding a rain particle system. It's going to be really quick and easy, so let's just get straight to it. All we need to do is we need to right click, we're going to insert a new object, particle, and then all we need to do is, for this, I'm just going to draw out a little rain droplet like this. It's nothing fancy, but it'll work for this episode. And then rename this to rain. Next we're going to set the angle to 90, so it's always shooting down, and then we want to scroll down to the properties. So we're going to set the rate to something like 200, so we want a large number, and then the spray cone we want to make it 180, so it's going to shoot out from both left to right. And what we're going to do is we're going to be making it so that the rain particle is going to follow our character above, so as we're moving the particle will just keep following and then just keep shooting the rain down. So next let's scroll down to the properties below. We're going to set the speed to something really high, like 1000, and then we want the gravity to be really high also, something like 200. So as you can see, it looks quite daft from up above, but once it's really high above the player, further down it's going to be a lot better. And then lastly we want to just set the destroy mode to particle stopped. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the particle is going to be stopped when it hits the tile set. Alternatively you could have it so the rain just shoots all the way through, but if you have it set to particle stopped, it will just keep going down. And then what we can do is we can just say it so when it interacts with the tile set, we'll destroy the particles. All we need to do now is go to your event sheet, add a new group or just a new event, it's up to you. I'm just going to add a group to keep it organized. So add a group, and then all we need to do is we need to say system, every tick, and then we want to say rain, set X, and we want to set the X to the character or player, whatever you've called your character. So we're going to say character.x. We can just control C and control V this to duplicate it. And then we want to set the Y. So we're going to go back and we're going to set Y. Set it to character.y. And then we want to just minus this by like a really high number so it's much higher above the character. So for this we could do something like 1000, or we'll try 1200 for now. And as you can see, we've now got a rain system following the character. And just like that, it already looks pretty cool. So additionally to this is, what we can also do is we can then make it so that the particle system will actually stop when it hits the ground. And then on top of that we could also make it so that once those little particle droplets hit the tiles, we could also spawn an additional effect which kind of like, you know, releases a few little droplets to make it look like it's splatting on the floor. So to get this effect working, what we need to do now is we're going to insert a new sprite, and then what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to actually create a droplet. So if you already made a droplet sprite or something like that, you would just use this again. And then what we're going to do is you want to scale this down to the size you want. And I'll just call this rain sprite for now. And then what we need to do is, so we're going to go back to the rain particle we created. And over here you can see it says object. We're going to select that. And we're now going to tell it to use this rain sprite object instead of the actual particle, like the rain particle. If you preview this, so it's got the same effect, but now it's just using that sprite instead of the previous one we created. Now what this does is, so if you go back to your event sheet, this is going to allow us to now reference that object, and we can actually now register collisions, because the default particle system doesn't actually know how to register collisions. So this is a great way to get around that. So we're going to add an event, and we're going to say rain particle, or rain sprite, sorry, on collision with another object, tile map. So on collision with the tile map, we then want to destroy the rain sprite. So we'll say rain sprite, destroy. As you can see, just like that, the rain now stops when it hits the tile set, and it looks much more realistic to that, you know, to that extent. Now on top of that, we can then go ahead and we can add another particle effect, if you'd like. So we can right click, insert an object, particle, and then what we can do is, for this, I'm just going to, for now, I'm just going to do a little, like just a dot. A little circle like this. And then for this one I'm going to set the angle, so I'm going to just have this facing up like this, and then we can rename this to splash, something like that. And then you can play around with this. So instead of continuous spray, we're going to go one shot, and then we don't need many of these, so for the rate we could just have 3 particles. And then the spray cone, I'm going to make it 90 instead. The speed we can really reduce. We'll turn the gravity up. There we go, that's much better. So we have those little droplets come out, and then they go back down. Alright guys, so just quickly head back to your event sheet. And now what we want to do is, so we want to say rain sprite, and we want to spawn another object. And we're going to spawn the splash sprite on the main layer, like so. So as you can see, the rain's now stopping at the tile set, and then we're getting little splash effects coming off like so. Now what you could do is to improve on that, you could also just apply the same effect we did with the rain, where once it hits the tile set, it destroys it. Or we could simply just add a time delay. So we could time out expired, and we could simply just do like a 0.2 seconds, something like that. And there we go, guys. So that is how you'd go about a nice easy way of doing the rain particle system effect. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.